Now at 9, authorities in Springfield arrest a man suspected in the Webb City homicide. Plus, Union Pacific authorities clean up a train derailment in Woodson County, Kansas. And
is he in or is he out? No official answer from President Biden yet. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have more on 2024 coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Authorities arrest a suspect connected to a stabbing death of a woman in Webb City, Missouri. Authorities arrested Nicholas Berry in Springfield, Missouri. He was arrested without incident and is awaiting extradition to Jasper County. The stabbing happened on April 9th. When Webb City police arrived, they found 39-year-old Maria Whitaker of Joplin unresponsive. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Court documents say Berry stabbed Whitaker over an argument about money. Authorities released the name of a shooting suspect, leaving one dead on the campus of Rose State College near Oklahoma City. The suspect is Brandon Morissette. He's being held in jail for first-degree murder and possession of a firearm on school property. Police say the victim was walking out of the building with the suspect's wife. He believed his wife was having an affair, but his wife told police that wasn't true. Police say they responded quickly and confronted Morissette. They say he cooperated with orders to drop his weapon. Authorities in Woodson County, Kansas are cleaning up a train derailment that was caused by a semi-truck colliding with the train. The Kansas Highway Patrol says it happened around 10 a.m. They say the semi failed to yield and collided with the train at the 80th Road crossing southeast of V8 Center. 24 rail cars and 5 locomotives were derailed. Most were empty. Some were carrying cottonseed, plastic pellets, fertilizer. No Union Pacific employees on the train were injured. The semi-driver was taken to Wichita Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And now Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Monday for us today. We did have a lot of clouds really thickening up late in the day, but up to 69, normal high 71 degrees, so pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year, and we do need the rain. We do have showers popping up on the radar. All of this is not reaching the ground yet. It's got to rain in the upper atmosphere for quite a while until it saturates the entire column all the way down to the surface. But once you get out in our far western counties toward Wichita, Ponca City, Oklahoma City, that is where the rain is reaching the ground. And we will get some light scattered showers in here, especially after midnight tonight. You can see here's 1 o'clock in the morning. And again, these are going to be light, hit and miss scattered showers through the night into the morning hours, but we have plenty of chances for rain over the next several days. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
The National Weather Service in Wichita says 3 towns in southeast Kansas are experiencing record-breaking dry spells. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to field scientists and a producers cooperative about the impact on crops.
Some farmers in southeast Kansas are still waiting for those April showers. After all, they're experiencing an ongoing drought.
We've had a lot of timely rains right now, but if we run out of that luck and it starts to become obviously a lot drier, and we don't get those timely rains, then it's going to be a big issue.
The Producers Cooperation Association in Girard is helping farmers get by, but they might have to start importing grain if the dry weather continues.
Whether that be from the Corn Belt that is north, northern Midwest, or some other place, we have to source that either via rail or by truck.
We have not had to do that as of yet. We've been very fortunate. Even last year's drought, we had enough just to kind of get us by, and we actually got along pretty well.
The current drought started last July.
It's just a situation based upon a previous situation where a drought builds onto yet another drought, and there's absolutely nothing left in the profile. So, yeah, we just need another rain.
Scientists from Kansas State monitor farmland across southeast Kansas.
The concern is we did not produce the hay we used to produce every year, so we are getting low in our stocks. And at this time of the year, we're supposed to have at least our fescue fields getting back, right? And as you guys can see here, the corn is still struggling with it. As we can see as well, in our fescue fields will be the same.
Battling dry spells isn't new to southeast Kansas. It's a part of the lifestyle.
Like I said, history will repeat itself. We will go through a drought and then we will bounce right back out of it. And it's not a first and it won't be the last.
Reporting in Girard, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
K-State scientists recommend farmers start planting summer crops because of the drier weather. Some local students showed their appreciation for healthcare heroes with some art. 24 Stapleton Elementary School students in Joplin created sidewalk chalk showing thanks and appreciation outside of Freeman Hospital West. The students are members of the school's art club and SOAR team. A lot of messages includes the words love and thank you and a lot of red hearts.
All those three things, because I love my friends, I love the people around me. If they're strangers or not, I always still give them a smile. And smiles are contagious. They spread.
It's mainly to help our community and make them feel whenever they have those long days and where they just feel like it can be tough, they can just have something to push them through the day.
The teacher says the art shows the honor and respect the students have for Freeman's doctors, physicians, and nurses. Fox News host Tucker Carlson is suddenly leaving the network after Carlson told viewers Friday he would be back today. Now, explanation was given for Carlson's sudden departure. It comes just days after the network reached a nearly $790 million settlement with Dominion Young voting system, accusing Fox of knowingly airing false statements claiming Dominion helped to rig the 2020 presidential election. He hasn't announced if he's running for a second term yet, but President Biden is expected to do it this Tuesday. If a rematch with his predecessor comes to fruition, polls show most voters will not be thrilled, which leaves an opening for a growing group of challengers. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Reporters pressed President Biden about 2024 at this Rose Garden event Monday. You can't hear him over the band, but he says, "You'll know real soon about my election plans." Then later in the Oval Office,
stay tuned.
But he said nothing officially. Word is he'll announce on Tuesday.
I think the Democratic Party is fairly fired up for this president to run for re-election.
I think the fact that Trump is running and that Trump is doing so well is the glue that's holding lots of factions of the Democratic Party behind Joe Biden.
But are they? A Fox poll last month shows that only 44% of Democrats want Biden as the nominee. In that same poll, 54% of Republicans want Donald Trump as their nominee, a jump from the month before. Less than half of that number want Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, with the rest of the field trailing in the single digits.
We can duke it out for the primary nomination, but we need to remember we're against the Democrats when it comes to November.
What America does not want is another repeat of 2020, where we have Joe Biden and Donald Trump running against each other. That's reflected in the polls, certainly on the Democrat side. And so we don't want to repeat that. It takes alternatives.
A recent Wall Street Journal poll shows in a head-to-head matchup, Mr. Biden would beat Mr. Trump by about 3 points. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Coming up, the future of medicine may be made with food.
It may not be tasty, but an edible battery could change the future of medical devices. I'm Marianne Rafferty. Details coming up.
A new invention could alter the future of healthcare, and it's made entirely out of food items you may have lying around your house. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look at an edible battery scientists say could help power ingestible medical devices.
Eating batteries goes against what we know about health and safety, but researchers from the Italian Institute of Technology are revealing a battery prototype that's actually meant to be swallowed. Dubbed the world's first edible rechargeable battery, scientists hope it can safely power different medical devices placed inside the body, especially as the development of ingestible technology like sensors and cameras continues expanding.
An edible battery allows us to ingest, for example, a sensing system, and degrade it into our body, like food, after it has performed its function.
The battery's positive end, called the anode, is made from a vitamin found in almonds. The negative end, called the cathode, uses a compound found in capers. Activated charcoal helps boost the battery's electrical conductivity, with a sheet of seaweed stopping the device from short-circuiting. It's all wrapped up in beeswax with pieces of gold leaf at the ends. Currently, this prototype can power a small LED light and can last for 12 minutes. Besides monitoring our health, Researchers say the edible battery could be used to make children's toys safer in the future. According to the National Safety Council, more than 2,800 kids are sent to the emergency room each year after swallowing small circular button batteries. Going forward, scientists want to make the battery stronger while also reducing it to the size of a standard pill. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
A new Canadian study finds people who received 4 or more CT scans when they were children had more than double the risk of developing brain tumors, leukemia, or lymphoma. An increased risk of intracranial tumors was also found in children who'd received 2 or 3 CT scans. There was no increased cancer risk with 1 scan. More than 43,000 women in the U.S. will die this year from breast cancer, according to estimates from the American Cancer Society. Black women have the highest death rate from the disease. A study published in the medical journal JAMA Network Open finds that clinical trials may be needed to investigate whether black women should start getting mammograms at younger ages. The exact reason why is unclear. However, many medical groups, including the American Cancer Society and the Mayo Clinic, recommend screening every 2 years starting at age 50. And Doug is back with a complete look at the forecast and later. Columbus baseball looks to stay undefeated in league play as they take on Colgan. We'll have those highlights in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Monday for us today. We had a lot of clouds, especially during the afternoon, as our next little weak wave is going to be pushing through as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, we need the rain. We need it pretty bad. April is one of our wetter months, and at the airport in Joplin, we've only had 0.2 of an inch. We've had several severe weather little events, but it's been just very scattered amounts of rain. Average is pushing 11 inches, so we're over 3 inches below where we should be for this time of the year. So rain chances this week we'll definitely take. All right, upper 50s to lower 60s out there right now. It's not going to drop off too much for us tonight. Going outside, 7th and range line sitting at 60. Easterly winds are light, 5 to 10. Humidity is still pretty low at 31%. Because it is at 31%, it's taken a while for that atmosphere to saturate to actually get the rain to reach the ground. But we're going to get some scattered showers in here tonight into tomorrow. Overnight low down to about 45 later on tonight. But you can't see these showers spreading in, but all this leading edge here is not even reaching the ground. You have to go out into our very far western counties toward Wichita and Ponca City before you get that reaching the ground. But this is going to help saturate the atmosphere, so it's going to have to rain on top of us for several hours. And then once this bigger batch out to the west starts to push in, we'll get some light showers, hit and miss, but light showers in here later on tonight. Look at our chances shooting up after midnight, 3 a.m. They drop off in the morning, and then they sneak up again tomorrow evening into tomorrow night as we're going to have periods of light rain over the next few days. Let's go through time. Here's 3 a.m. Light showers, again, scattered, working through and then diminishing by morning. But still, when you wake up in the morning, there are going to be some light hit and miss showers out there. As we go into tomorrow afternoon, mostly cloudy skies. You can see some spotty showers, but then picking up again as we get into the late afternoon hours and then into the evening hours, especially in our southern counties. Here's 9 p.m. for us tomorrow. As we go through tomorrow night, we dry out a little bit, but then our next wave is going to roll in, especially late Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. We'll have periods of showers once again working through. But again, this is all going to be fairly light. So over the next couple days, we're not going to get a lot of accumulation of rain, but it will pop up. We'll get heavier amounts of rain with our next wave that rolls in on Friday. So we have rain chances just about each and every day. All right, day planner 49 at 9, 57 by 11. And once we get into the afternoon, high temps right around 60 degrees. 59 on Wednesday, 62 on Thursday, 67 on Friday. Morning showers even into Saturday. So we have chances each and every day this week, which we definitely need.
Yeah, like Amber's story earlier in the show, Southeast Kansas, they're going to be crossing their fingers that all 4 of those days are 5 of those days they get some rain.
I know, we need it.
All right, thank you, Doug. Climate activists piled up 650,000 cigarette butts in a campaign to raise awareness about the often overlooked form of pollution. The environmental stunt in Portugal's capital city drew a crowd, with campaigners filling 40 giant buckets with butts and dumping them into a mound in Lisbon. The World Health Organization says 4.5 trillion cigarette ends are thrown away each year worldwide, and the butts contain plastic fibers that don't decompose, along with harmful chemicals and toxins. Coming up, the long fight over the debt ceiling.
The House is set to vote on a Republican debt limit bill this week to force President Biden to the negotiating table. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with more on that political fight. Coming up.
This week is Kevin McCarthy's biggest test yet as House Speaker. A vote as soon as Wednesday could clear Republican plan to raise the debt limit and force President Biden to sit down and negotiate. Failure, though, could roil the markets, and the president will likely stay away from the bargaining table until Republicans can come up with a plan that will pass. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
The House is back in session this week, and they're bracing for a major challenge. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is aiming to muscle a bill through to raise the debt limit, forcing President Biden to finally negotiate.
This is risky what he's doing. He's threatening the markets.
This is McCarthy's biggest test yet. Earlier this year, he won a grueling fight for the Speaker's gavel, in part by agreeing to demands that he would not raise the debt ceiling without spending cuts. The Republicans would raise the debt limit by $1.5 trillion, roll back spending to 2022 levels, claw back unused COVID-19 funds, and rescind student loan payment relief.
I think it will pass the House this week. I think it's essential that it does.
McCarthy is facing the slimmest of margins and can only afford to lose 5 Republican votes. Some Democrats are accusing him of siding with extremists in his party.
I think you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene running the caucus. She communicates that McCarthy is doing her bidding.
But with time running out to avoid a disastrous default, Democrats are in a bind too. White House aides have even discussed the possibility of trying to lift the debt ceiling unilaterally, according to a report from the Washington Post. Still, they argue the responsibility falls on Congress.
Congress has to do its constitutional duty and avoid default in this country. We've always paid our bills.
President Biden is facing risks too, ahead of an official re-election campaign announcement. The debt limit crisis could roil markets, leaving him politically vulnerable. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Subscription costs are going up, but there are some steps you can take to help manage them. A new report suggests putting together a list of your reoccurring bills. This will help you spot the services you don't use often and can cancel. The report also recommends looking into free alternatives when it comes to streaming platforms for movies and TV shows. There are options such as Tubi and Freevee. For music, Spotify and Pandora offer listener-free tiers with ads. Lastly, the report says if it's possible to share, do so. You can set up family plans to help lower costs. The U.S. manufacturing industry could see layoffs this year. Now the supply chain is running more smoothly. Wells Fargo economists predict companies should be caught up on the pandemic backlog in about 5 months. Meanwhile, demand is falling as consumers and businesses rein in their spending in manufactured goods. Surveys from the Institute for Supply Management show the sector already has been contracting for several months. Up next, we'll meet a Missouri couple who earned themselves a life sentence together with engagement photos from jail. The sheriff's office in Marys County, Missouri, arrested a man and woman and booked them into jail on very serious charge stealing each other's hearts. It was actually a fun social media post by the sheriff to announce the couple's engagement. The post said the couple reached a plea deal and accepted a sentence of life together. The sheriff said, quote, "We are pleased with the outcome of this case. We wish them happiness and blessings for many years to come." 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Why Baxter Springs School District is moving to a 4-day school week. Plus a citizens group in Pittsburgh meets to discuss their vision for the future of the city. The 4-day school week is coming to the 4 states. Baxter Springs School District is changing its academic calendar starting this fall. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more about a new Tuesday to Friday schedule.
Starting in August, students of Baxter Springs School District will move to a 4-day school week. Superintendent Dave Pendergraft says the move is due to the lack of qualified staffs.
Over the years, the number of applicants that are applying has been diminishing across the board, and we've experienced some of our upper level courses where we're having a hard time getting qualified applicants.
Pendergraft says the support for the change is overwhelming.
And so hopefully this is something we can see a positive, and we can make, this can really help in recruiting some of those qualified staff for those positions, and also help us retain some of our quality teachers.
The superintendent says parents will be able to drop their kids off at Lincoln Elementary School on Mondays in case they need to run an errand or go to work. He also says childcare will be provided and it will be completely free.
And open that up for any student that doesn't have a place to go. And so we'll hire individuals to work on that day and give them some opportunities, have some opportunities for play, but also some opportunities to learn as well.
Students and parents told me they love the transition to a 4-day school week.
Like, I don't think that Saturday and Sunday is very much quality time for us to spend as a family. So I think it's more time with the family being home an extra day.
I think it'll be good for us just so we can have that extra day either to do homework or spend more time with our family.
I think it'll be good just for like sporting events and people that need to work on Monday, and it'll help the kids so we don't have to leave school early on Mondays.
In Baxter Spring, Shagmam Dele, KOAM News.
The superintendent told Shagun that school funding will not be affected because they are meeting the school hour requirements set forth by the state. The 4-day school week begins August 15th. Kansas is joining an effort that could one day make it easier to hire teachers from other states. The Topeka Capital Journal reports a bill Governor Laura Kelly signed Thursday makes the state the latest member of the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact. The compact is a creation of the Council of State Governments. It was created for an easier pathway to teacher licensure for military personnel and their spouses as they move across the country. It would effectively allow teaching licenses to be viable across members of the compact. 10 states are required to fully enact the compact. Kansas is only the 4th. Governor Kelly also signed a bill establishing a foster care bill of rights. The bill outlines the rights of foster youth, foster parents, and family caregivers in the state. It also strengthens the Child Abuse Referral Evaluation Network. That program ensures every case of child maltreatment is thoroughly investigated, and it allows for the use of infant safety devices in authorities' facilities. Area residents in Pittsburgh gathered today to discuss changes and improvements for the community through the year of 2030. KOAM Jean DeHadela talked with city officials and has more.
Pittsburgh area residents discussed future plans together at Pittsburgh State University inside the Bignell Family Center for the Arts, one of the community's successes since the first Imagine Pittsburgh plan in 2012.
It's sponsored by the Pittsburgh Area Chamber, but it has input from so many different stakeholders in our community because it really is, again, a community vision plan, and we want it to reflect the priorities of the community.
The Chamber conducted an online survey in February to understand the needs of the community. Items being discussed include quality of place, neighborhood revitalization, and growth.
To get a little bit more context and drill down a little bit deeper to find out exactly where the community feels like our priorities should be.
Pitt State professor Rocky Restivo wants to bring up transportation for individuals who don't have cars.
It's kind of frustrating that I can't just jump on public transportation or just ride my bike from one end of the city to the other without, fear of being hit by a car, or there's no bike lanes and things of that nature.
Realtor Brian Jonas's perspective is how to get better and more housing.
We didn't grow very well back in the 70s and 80s. We are now starting to grow. We could use more builders, contractors to come in and help us do that. Not that we don't have contractors, but they are busy and we just need more for new construction and new housing.
Area Chamber of Commerce officials say the discussions will be taken into consideration and the group will come back in the fall to present projects for the community. In Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
This was the first one of the community conversations. Another one Pittsburgh residents can attend will be this Thursday at Meadowlark Elementary School at 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome to attend. A bit later, why teachers across the country are racing to teach students how to read.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. We did have a lot of clouds, especially during the afternoon hours, but overall, it turned out to be a pretty good day, and it's not bad out there right now. We're still sitting upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Eventually, we'll drop back into the mid 40s later on tonight, but 58 in Iola, 63 in Chautauqua, 62 in Anderson, Carthage at 59. And we can go outside, 7th and Rangeline sitting at 60. Easterly winds are light. Humidity is low. So because it's so dry at the surface, we are getting rain up top. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground, but eventually it will make it to the ground as we go in the next few hours or so as that atmosphere continues to saturate. So hit and miss showers for us tonight. Overnight low down to about 45. You can see the rain picking up on the radar, but again, it's just not reaching the ground. You have to go out in our far western counties before any of it is actually making it to the ground. It is out toward Wichita, Ponca City, Oklahoma City, but this batch is going to continue to work through as we go into the overnight hours tonight, giving us hit and miss, light little showers, scattered for sure. After midnight, chances go up. Here's 3 a.m., then back down in the morning, and then they start to go back up again late afternoon into the overnight hours for us tomorrow night. Let's step through time. We're going to stop at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Light showers making it to the ground at this point in time. But again, scattered light showers kind of falling apart by morning. Here's 7 a.m. We're into the 40s. We warm into the mid 50s by noon. Mostly cloudy skies. Showers start to pick back up late in the day. And it's going to be cooler tomorrow compared to what we have seen, well, at least today. 47 to start. 57 by noon, 58 during the afternoon, southerly winds at about 10 to 15. Hit and miss showers again tomorrow night, especially our southern counties into Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday morning looks okay. We're going to start into the mid 40s, and then here comes rain again. Periods of showers back in by the time we head into Wednesday evening, into Wednesday night, into Thursday morning. So you can see the trend here. We have numerous shots for on and off showers as we go through the next few days. All right, rainfall over the next couple days, it's not going to be much. 2/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. A little stronger wave moves in on Friday, so this gives us a little higher totals by the time we head toward the weekend. 49 at 9. Let's go 57 by 1, 58 by 5 p.m. 60 for a high tomorrow, 59 on Wednesday. Morning showers on Thursday. Afternoon thunderstorms Friday, lasting into early Saturday morning. So at least we have rain chances every single day. Temperatures a little chilly though this week.
Yeah, I know today was a little bit cooler than what we've had as of late, but to be completely honest, it didn't really feel that much different.
No, it's not too bad.
So hopefully it feels that way throughout the week.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
Coming up in sports, Columbus baseball puts their 10-game winning streak on the line against Colgan. Plus a record-breaking weekend for Missouri Southern senior Matt Miller. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Columbus Titans have been one of the best teams in the state in the first month of the season. The Titans won 10 straight games to get to 10-1 this season, including a 4-0 start in CNC League play. This afternoon, Columbus on the road for a league doubleheader against the Colgan Panthers. In Game 1, top of the first, 2 on for Colt Ungerhauer, hits it high and deep to left. Clears the wall out there, bounces off Georgia Street. 3-run jack, Titans up 3-0 after 1. On to the second now, Cade Saporito up for Columbus, hard liner to right. Check it out, big hop over the outfielder's head. Jaspin Tanner all the way around from first to score, triple for Saporito. 4 more for the Titans in the second. Now in the third, Caden Cox through the left side. Saporito trots in on that. Columbus scores the first 8 runs of the game. Then Colgan gets something going in the bottom of the third. Karsten Simmons with a man on third. Slices one into the right field corner. Runner scores on the RBI double for Simmons. Panthers have their first run. Then next batter, Carter Jacquino. hard shot to the gap and left brings in another. Colgan gets 2 back in the third. They would go on to win this one 11-2. So in Game 2, Columbus tries to sweep the day. Titans score 6 in the 5th to break a 2-2 tie. They go on to win it 13-3, so Columbus has now won 12 games in a row to get to 12-1 this season. Missouri Southern's Matt Miller had a historic week for the Lions last week in 4 games against Washburn and Northeastern State. Batted .500, going 7 for 14 with a double, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. And with his big weekend, the Aurora, Missouri kid is now at the top of the Missouri Southern record books in multiple categories. Miller now has 20 home runs this season, which leads the MIAA and is also the most in a single season in Missouri Southern program history. He also passes the team's career RBIs record last weekend. He's at 194 and counting. And earlier this season, he became the program's all-time home run king. He's just adding to his record now, setting at 55 career homers. Miller and the Lions will wrap up the regular season this weekend with a 3-game road series against Missouri Western. The St. Louis Cardinals are 9-13 to begin the baseball season. The Cards have had a hard time getting any momentum. They have back-to-back series losses, losing 4 of their last 6 games. Tonight, St. Louis tried to get something going, opening a 4-game series on the road against the Giants. Right now, game is scoreless in the top of the 4th. Jordan Montgomery has thrown 3 shutout innings with 3 strikeouts for the Cards. The Kansas City Royals also out west, opening a 3-game set against Arizona. In that one, Kansas City down 3-2 right now in the bottom of the 3rd. Edward Olivares is 1 for 2 with a solo home run. I want to go back to Matt Miller from Missouri Southern. He's had a great career there, a local kid from Aurora, Missouri. 55 homers in his career and counting.
Yeah, being a student athlete there at Missouri Southern, got to meet Matt quite a few times, spend time with him. Not only is he a great player, but a great person, so no surprise.
Couldn't happen to a better dude.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for sports. We're back with more after this. The COVID-19 pandemic altered life as we knew it. And while going remote helped prevent the spread of the virus at public places like offices and schools, many teachers across the country say the transition to and from remote learning resulted in educational gaps that they're still trying to overcome, especially when it comes to elementary school kids and their ability to read. Fox News' Chris DeMille reports.
Imagine going through life not knowing how to read. While it's a frightening concept, some teachers across the country say it's a new reality for many young kids after facing years of learning gaps brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
A lot of the students that we're getting are coming in and they are 2 to 3 grade levels behind. And so you really have to try to go back and catch them up from what they should have learned, some of those foundational skills, as well as still teach your grade level content, which is a challenge.
While remote learning helped prevent people from spreading COVID-19 in schools, some teachers say it was especially difficult for elementary kids to pay attention. Now, nationwide, students in 3rd grade are even more behind on reading than kids in other grades because most of their first 2 years of schooling was online.
They're in 3rd grade. At this point, you have to read, you have to be able to comprehend, and you have to be able to do that independently.
According to data collected by the Department of Education, students who are not fluently reading by the end of the 3rd grade are roughly 4 times more likely to drop out or not graduate high school on time. Knowing these dire consequences, some teachers are still positive kids can push through as long as they remain focused.
There has been that growth, and they want to grow. I think that's the other thing. Most of them have that mindset where I want to be great.
Chris DeMille, Fox News.
The millions of Chromebooks purchased by schools across the country might not last long. A new report by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group Education Fund shows the Chromebooks are starting to have issues. A major one is repairability. The report says replacement parts are harder to find compared to other laptops. This could end up being costly. The nonprofit organization estimates finding a way to make the Chromebooks last twice as long could lead to nearly $2 billion in savings for taxpayers. Coming up, how a teacher is helping students pay off school lunch debt. A Virginia teacher is trying to help struggling families. The special education teacher raised more than $40,000 to pay off his entire school's lunch debt. Megan Clark has the story.
8th grade teacher Gabriel Siegel knows his students here at Hornton Middle School in Fairfax County like they're his own kids.
When I see students, like even if it's one of my students I mentor that's having a rough day, the first question I ask him isn't, hey, are you okay, or how are you? It's, did you eat today? because the majority of the time they're not eating.
A problem Siegel first noticed talking to parents before the pandemic.
Just through conversation with them, I learned that this was a common theme of school meal debt.
In Fairfax County, middle school meals cost $3.50, with a half pint of milk $4.10. The district says about a third of students do get free meals or help to pay. According to Capital Area Food Bank's 2022 Hunger Report, 24% of residents in Fairfax County, where the median household income is more than $100,000, struggle with food insecurity.
So if you have a family of 4 and they're all eating lunch, that can quickly add up.
With inflation sticking around, Siegel, the adopted son of 2 FCPS high school teachers, decided to carry on the legacy of caring for kids.
And my whole point is to not only raise money, but also raise awareness.
He now spends hours each week calling nonprofits. His effort featured in the Washington Post earlier this year. And since then, he's raised even more, for a total of more than $40,000. And this isn't the first time Mr. Siegel paid off student lunch debt. The last time he did this, he used his stimulus check to pay off more than $600 in student lunch debt at Sleepy Hollow Elementary. As Siegel says, meal debt in Fairfax County is nearing $1 million. He wants to keep the message going, now meeting with county and state leaders to get free lunches in all Virginia schools, no matter what parents make.
Because a lot of families need help. I mean, it's just that simple. If I can impact, just one family or even dozens, I know I've done something pretty special.
Man, that's awesome. And that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with the video of a tree kangaroo eating some watermelon at a Texas zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.